such meetings. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to said orders. Public comment period shall be suspended for this meeting as it is not required by law, and no scheduled public hearing tonight, and technically difficult based on the circumstances. The town will accept questions, comments, and input via email and or regular mail and will be answered directly by the appropriate town personnel as soon as possible. Regular town meeting format in person with public comment will return as soon as the emergency conditions resolve.
Thank you, Matt. I just have a brief statement also. With deep regret, because of the latest increased cases of COVID-19, by the way, it's 560 today, in Niagara County, town of Wheatfield has made the choice to restrict public access to meetings and some of our facilities. The town will remain open, however, and access will be restricted and everyone entering will be screened and must wear a mask. Our community center will be reduced to activities with no more than 10 attendees. Senior activities, line dancing, etc. will be postponed. Nobody speaking? No, okay. It will exceed that 10 limit until further notice. Employees have been instructed to be cautious, wash hands, wear masks, and to maintain social distance as much as possible. Anyone with questions pertaining to our meetings are welcome to the call within 24 hours or myself. Okay, was that somebody make a comment or just somebody cutting in or what?
Somebody was cutting.
Okay.
This meeting's being recorded. I started recording as soon as Matt started his introduction.
Okay, so could I, with that statement, I'd like the approval of November 2nd, 2020 minutes, please. Have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of bill payment November 16th, 2020. Voucher number 202-01963 through 202-02044 with a total amount of $104,142.81. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. The department heads, as you know, Paul Sigmund has no business tonight. Richie Donner is a personal matter going on. Mike Rinaldi also was excused, and Mike Clock was coming on, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it on. But we can discuss his business a little bit later. And Kelly, if you would like to speak.
I have nothing to report this month. I'm just here because there's a motion for my department later.
Right. Okay. And Mike Clock is on. Okay. Hi, Mike. Mike, you're coming on anyway. You're still muted, Mike. Mike, you're muted.
I just unmuted him.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you. Thanks, Larry.
Okay.
I had the cake order in place.
And Mike, while we're at it, I always seem to miss you one way or another, don't I, Mike?
Yes. Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn, Mike.
I missed all the good stuff. Let's see. Well, actually, I think the only thing to talk about for our group is that we do have a motion on tonight to adjust or raise the licensing fee for our electrical, plumbing, and sewer contractors. We've been kind of static on those fees for the last probably 20 years. And the majority of the other townships are charging sizable fees for their contractors. And a lot of them are actually licensing their contractors, not just the plumbers and electricians. So they're charging fees for your GCs, your landscapers, et cetera. Anybody that's pulling a permit requires a license. We haven't got to that part yet. We're still just working with the licensing of the electricians and plumbers. And so my request is to push that fee that's been $100 to $125 for 2021.
One of the questions, Mike, that came to me was why now instead of waiting till the beginning of the year? And if you would explain that, please.
Well, it's waiting to the beginning of the year. We send out the renewals for the 21 licensing. And so if we don't get the adjustment, or if we don't do this today, we'll lose that window because all our mailers go out, usually 60 days in advance. Just try to give these guys a heads up, and they need to sign in by January 1st. So if I wait till January, I've already missed my window of opportunity for 21 licensing.
Okay, I think that's the explanation that we were
Mike, is
looking-
125 in line with everybody else, other towns?
It's actually, most of them are pushing 125, 150, even though like the general contractor licensing, like for the city limits, North Tonawanda, Lockport, they're all 150. Some even push 175, but that's Erie County. So I think we're in line, and I don't want to scare them off either, because sometimes if you jump too high, the guy that doesn't do work every year with us or is on an IFCOM, he might make the decision not to spend money at all and let his license lapse. So I don't want to go after them and try to make that decision for them. I want to, if we're easing into it like this, I think that's a fair adjustment.
And Randy, just to add to that, as we approach the end of the year, the zoning board has asked us to look at some additional fees, which I haven't even had a chance to talk to Mike about, related to some issues that happened to the zoning board. And Mike, sometime in the next month or so, you're gonna get together and discuss increasing some of the other fees that we talked
Right.
about.
We did talk about that too. And that's permitting fees too, goes along with that, trying to stay at least on par with some of the other towns. Some of the permits, again, a lot of work goes into them, and we're not maybe covering some of our inspection time that's out there, or even administrative fees.
Okay. That's it, Mike?
Yep, other than I'm on vacation this week.
I know you were. Lou represented you very well at the department head meeting this morning.
Oh, I bet he did.
Hey, Dan, I've got a couple questions for Mike. Mike, on last week I talked to you about a restaurant on Williams Road with a bunch of unregistered vehicles.
Yep.
And I think when they first started, they had one unregistered, 2, 3. Now they're up to 5. It's like every week or two they add another vehicle to their parking.
We went right out and did some research on that. We had somebody call before you, Larry, actually. So Lou did write up a violation with the exorbitant number of unregistered vehicles. So we do have a written violation on file with them.
Okay, great. And the second question, we keep getting emails from some new home construction up in Nash Road.
Yeah, Steve Zaharkin.
And somebody's complaining.
I'm muted.
Hang on one second. See if that works a little better.
Yeah,
But,
you're not echoing now? No
we
reverb?
keep getting emails sent to the supervisor's office that there's a homeowner complaining that they're in violation, but Matt Brooks is telling us that you guys have talked and you've sent him a notice or something. But the homeowner that's doing all the complaints, they ought to be notified that you guys are working on it. Are they?
Well, we'll step back a little bit, Larry. The conversation there at the beginning of this whole thing, back months ago, we did an investigation, talked to the builder, and basically it's an ongoing construction site. I mean, the subdivision's WIP's not closed. There is a house that's currently being built, and we did address it, and we have been looking at it. I sent out a formal reply from our department on Thursday, I think, of last week, explaining to them again that everything is compliant on our end, and that I kind of gave them an update too as far as when construction was supposed to continue for the house that's open. But again, it's been addressed, and I think that Mr. Zaharkin has an issue with Mr. Barone, and he's just trying to bury him somehow. And that is.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Go ahead.
Can I interrupt? Yes. Larry, if you go out and take a look at it, it's probably cleaner than most construction. There's some material being stored on the site, and I happen to know, and I can't give you the source, but in fact, this gentleman is not happy with Tony Barone. So what he's trying to do is drag the town in to satisfy his anger towards Tony Barone. Larry, if you go look at the site, you're going to shake your head and say, I don't see the problem.
Okay.
You get a chance to take a look at it. There's really nothing there that's of any violation. this guy just is after Tony Rome for anything he does. And as you know, again, that construction site, there is construction going on there. He's got some wood stored there, a couple 2x4s, but nothing of any consequence, nothing that would be a violation at any construction site or any subdivision. So if you get a chance to look at it, Larry, you'll see what I mean.
Well, then maybe, these emails keep coming in and Debbie keeps sending them to the town board. And it's making it look like we have to take action on it. Maybe she should just send them to Mike Clark.
Well, no, the reason Debbie is sending them to you because, a few weeks ago, there was a comment made, well, why wasn't I made aware of this? So almost anything that could be related to a complaint, I have Debbie send them out to you. If you want me to stop, I will.
Well, that one there, maybe we keep getting it every week. It's like that this one lady keeps sending in complaints.
Yeah, this guy's nonstop.
Okay. And I just didn't know, and I know you guys are working on it, and Matt Brooks keeps telling me that Mike's addressing it, but I just wanted to make sure that we didn't need to get in the loop, and we really don't need to be in the loop.
There's really nothing any of the board members can do unless you want to take a ride by and look at it. And there's probably a lot less there than we see on any other subdivision. It's just my personal opinion, and what I've heard is that he's, dissatisfied was some of his home, and he's trying to get some results.
Okay.
So trying to get the town involved, basically. And we've dealt with this kind of stuff forever. So, when I talk to Debbie too, I'll try her to maybe tone out some of
Yeah,
the-
maybe that particular email string, because are the rest of the board, are you getting all these emails too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to see some of the nonsense.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I'll talk to her tomorrow.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, let's see, where did we end off? The seniors, I just so everybody knows that I did meet with all the department heads this morning. I did talk with Arlene Manty, and she was actually pleased that we are canceling senior activities. We kind of reaffirmed the department's position about social distancing when they take their breaks and have their lunches to keep a distance from each other. As you notice when you walk in tonight, we have a sign directing people up the ramp, and this way we can keep a better distance separation when people do come to the town hall, which also will include, as and Kathy's on now, her busy time will be coming up in January. So we have to limit not only access, but the distance between people. So we're starting now, and I talked to Bob this morning, who was at Bob Connery, who was at the meeting, and is putting a little more responsibility on the constables to screen everyone that comes in, which we have to do, and contact tracing. So we had a good meeting this morning, and everybody seemed to be satisfied when we finished the meeting, I believe. So I just wanted all the board members to know that we did meet this morning, and we just discussed restricting some of the meetings, public hearings, things like that, till things get better. And as I said, we have 560 active cases as of today, and that's a considerable jump since Saturday. So we'll continue. Matt, if you would read motions, please.
Yes. Okay, first motion is from the assessor and town clerk. A motion to allow the town assessor to re-levy the unpaid water sewer town charges on the 2021 tax roll in the amount of $106,966.06 in order to collect said charges through property tax collections.
Motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And we have one further motion. This one, as Mike Clark indicated, from the building department, resolved to approve and authorize an increase in the annual license fee for electricians, plumbers, and sewer contractors from $100 to $125, effective beginning 2021.
So moved.
So moved.
Second, please.
Who did that?
Who made the, I made the
Who made
motion.
That was Kurt.
Kurt made the
Okay.
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay,
And
thank
I
you.
have no further motions.
Enjoy your vacation, Mike.
Thank you very much.
I think your daughter's visiting, correct?
She is, and we're doing the protocol set up by the governor with the test before, test after, and hanging in there, and so far so good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mike.
But thank you, guys.
Okay, have a good night. Mike.
You.
Board members, Larry Hellwood.
Oh, go ahead.
I have nothing.
Okay. Gil Doucette.
I have some correspondence from Adams Fire Hall. Adams Fire Hall would like to add to the roster Joshua Dahmen and Alex Witkowski, and I'll make that motion.
Second. Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Kathy, I'll bring this in to you tomorrow.
I have one, Gil, so I'm good. Thank you. So Randy, you don't have to do that one.
Understood.
That's it, Gil?
That's it for right now.
Okay. Kurt Doctor.
Yeah, so I got a response back from New York State DOT on the Whitmer and Oppenheim Park intersection. That's part of the 2022 project. And what we had requested was that they include turning lanes from Whitmer and Oppenheim onto Niagara Falls Boulevard, which was not a part of the project. They just had the one lane coming from the Oppenheim in Whitmer, and we had requested a left-hand turn lane. And I have good news to report that as a result of our request, they are adding the left-hand turn lane from both Oppenheim and Whitmer. The cost of the betterment will not change anything for the town of Wheatfield. It'll be rolled into the 2022 project. It does include a culvert extension, which I guess was extensive, the cost of it. So I'm appreciative of the DOT for making the change. And the other thing that we had requested is that they consider a center turn lane from Cy Road all the way to Mavis, approximately a 2-mile corridor. That would be a center turn lane. And they're continuing to review that. That's obviously a much bigger, more expensive ask, but they did reference it and said that, as additional funding becomes available, this is on their short list. So I'm also happy about that. So, and that's all I have for tonight.
No, it only makes sense that what they're doing anyway, Kurt, so it's good that I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. That's it for you, Kurt?
That's it.
Okay, Randy?
I have nothing.
Okay. The only thing I have tonight is just a reminder that Niagara County is holding a mask and sanitizer giveaway here at the town hall tomorrow in the parking lot from 9 to 11 at our community center. So if there's anyone that's in need of masks and sanitizer, they can pick them up here between 9 and 11 tomorrow. So I guess there's an abundance of sanitizer out there. And that's really all I have. Anyone else have anything else to discuss about the meeting tonight? Just so everybody's aware of this, by the increase in cases, I'm assuming that we'll be doing Zoom meetings for probably till at least the first of the year. Not much we can do about it, but I think from talking with all the departments, town of Wheatfield, I spoke with all the other supervisors today. They're all doing the same thing. I know one town has actually closed the town hall to the public, which I thought was a little bit drastic, but that's not my say. Lewiston and town of Niagara and Cambridge are pretty much doing what we are. So everybody's doing their part to try and lick this virus. And hopefully, if anybody saw it tonight, it's hopeful there should be some vaccines coming out very soon. And that was good news. I mean, I forget the name of the company, but there's two companies, Pfizer, and I forget the other one. But it looks very promising that there'll be by the end of the year. So that's good news.
Don,
Will the planning board and zoning board be doing Zoom meetings too?
Well, you know, right now, the planning board has a meeting coming up this Wednesday, I believe. But there's only one thing on the agenda. So rather than canceling the meeting, I told them to go ahead and do it, but they only have one person and they're limiting how many people come in. So you got your planning board, just like we do. And after that, we're going to talk to Walt Garrow and Mike Schaefer this week. I'm going to meet with them, discuss future meetings. We've already told them to cancel the public hearings on solar because of the potential large amount of people that would respond to that, obviously. So they're going to be postponed indefinitely, and that's what we have to do. We can't allow a large group to come in for any public hearings, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be that way till the first of the year anyway. But in the meantime, we'll have to do the best that we possibly can, and hopefully this virus will pass and the vaccinations will be out soon.
You know, just an FYI, the planning board and the zoning board both had Zoom licenses back in May and June timeframe, but they expired in the middle of summer and they didn't renew them. So if they need to get back on the Zoom bandwagon, they'll have to, you know, pay that $14 a month for their licenses again if they need to do Zoom.
And which we'll probably have to do, Larry. So maybe you and I can talk about that with them. Only because, you know, like we're doing the Zoom meetings too. And I think we'll probably have to do the same thing with planning and zoning board. Again, as the zoning board has a minor application, they can do social distancing, but our town board meetings, the last one we had close to 30 people here. So that's what was my concern.
Yeah, and Kurt Doctor does use this Zoom license for his Wheatfield enhancement group. So I think we don't have anybody else that needs to Zoom though, I don't believe.
I don't believe so. Larry, what do they have to do to renew their license?
Just go on the internet to the Zoom site, and it's either monthly or annual. It's like $14 or $19 a month if you do it monthly, or like $100 and some if you do it for the year.
Okay.
You know, the town board, we bought a yearly license because we didn't.
I can tell you that the planning board did do a sample Zoom meeting back in March, and it was not good.
Everybody that uses Zoom needs very good quality internet in their house. I know Walt Garrell in particular has a very weak internet connection in his house.
That's his reservation. When I talked to him about it the other day, is the fact that some of the people don't have good internet connection, which could be a problem.
Well, they can use the town hall. I mean, if Walt Garrell wants to come to town hall because we have good Wi-Fi in here, he could use our internet.
Yeah.
It's in the parking lot too.
It's in the parking lot too.
The only thing is, you know, a lot of the people with the computers don't have the cameras on them. Like mine in my office doesn't. This is my own personal computer. And, you know, I think just to go to like my sewer board meetings are all via phone, and you lose so much. They're not a Zoom meeting. Everything is on the phone, and they actually were supposed to be scheduled here this week. But as you know, they have a case in Niagara County Sewer District right here in Wheatfield. So that meeting was canceled because of the positive case of coronavirus. So I'll meet with Mike and Walt, and we'll discuss it, and I'll report back to you guys so you know.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
I just want to remind, like what I asked you this morning, if anybody has any contacts with legislators, assemblymen, senators, anything, we're trying, as the New York State Assessors Association, we're trying to get the governor to put an executive order through where the seniors that were eligible for the aged and enhanced star for 2020 would continue to be eligible for 2021 without having to come in and reapply this year. So if anybody can send an email to anybody saying that we are in favor of that, so we don't have our seniors coming into the town hall.
Sure. Is anybody contact our legislatures at all or not?
I was putting together an email. I was going to like recheck it tomorrow, kind of have Matt look it over and then kind of send it out.
Okay. As you know, right now, all of our county legislators are being quarantined till Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Don, I just had one thing, and that's for the rest of the board. I know since there isn't any public I submitted our planning board summary and all that. Are you guys okay with just reading that, or do you need me to read it through at these meetings, or do you want me to save them all up until January, or
I mean, I
what
got
are your
a
thoughts?
Put it on cassette.
As long as you're okay reading with what I type up, I'll spare you the.
Well, Tim, I would say this. I mean, if something comes up that you think that the town board may be, want to comment on other than just a normal report, I would say then definitely we want to hear it. But, you know, typically, I mean, like there wasn't too much on this one. This was basically about the access to Niagara Falls Boulevard, correct?
For that Dollar General one.
Right.
Yes, and you should have gotten a letter probably today. We wrote a letter. The DOT apparently has a new policy out that if you're a corner lot that's on the boulevard or another state road, that they are saying, we don't want you to get your access off the boulevard. You got to go off the side road. And there's a big hubbub at this particular location because it's the end of Cayuga Drive extension and the road is minimal right away, very narrow pavement section, weight limited and all that. So we, at the planning board's request, wrote a letter to the DOT requesting that they waive that policy for this location because both, you know, Paul and I think every resident who lives on the street don't want to have direct access driveways out onto that road, besides the traffic and safety issues that it would cause.
And if anybody knows what we're talking about, that's an absolute issue. And I think I agree with the planning board that, in fact, we shouldn't have any access to Cayuga Drive. It should be on the boulevard or not at all. I mean, I like business as much as anybody else, but sometimes you got to think of what's right for the community too.
Right. So we'll see, you know, if the DOT goes along with it, that'll be good. If not, I'll probably get a hold of you of Matt and Don and see what kind of bigger guns you guys can pull out.
Well, I mean, in your letter, you talked about the protection and safety of the community. I mean, we can go further with that, but I absolutely agree with that. Is that an old 3-rod road, by the way?
You know what, the bottom section that goes east-west is 49.5 foot right away, but that small section that goes from the curve up to the boulevard, it's like 30.5 feet wide. It's like, it's not even a not even a rod measurement. It's just,
How could we possibly allow an access there? You're going to have accidents. It's just not a good scenario.
yeah, unless the applicant were to donate right away to give it a full right away and reconstruct the road in there to town standards, and I bet they won't do that. So.
Okay, well, thank you. If everybody saw that today, that report from the planning board in Wendell, I'm assuming you did. Okay. Next meeting is December 7th, 2020, via Zoom. And anybody else have any comments? I guess we're done. Request a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll second your motion.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Enjoy your evening, gents. Thank you for attending.